Welcome to the Weekly Gaming Blast, the podcast that brings you the latest gaming news unhinged. I am AkibanaZero.
And I am Rue the Gamer. Hello.
And we're back with our first episode for 2018. Happy New Year!
Yeah, Happy New Year, everyone. It's really, really late of us.
It's a belated Happy New Year. Did you have a good one, Ruben?
I did. I had a really chilled one, actually. I just ended up playing board games with my best friend and her husband, so I didn't really do much, but I spent the whole of Christmas playing games, so it's fine. It's really fine.
Yeah, you did the nerdy stuff.
Yeah, I did the nerdy stuff before, so I did the chilled adulty stuff on New Year's Eve. Oh, and I drank, obviously.
That is definitely a chilled adult thing to do.
But you had a far more interesting New Year.
Oh my god, don't even get me started. Yes. For those who don't know, yes, New Year's was very eventful for me because my wife gave birth to my first child, and probably the only one, but we'll see about that. Yes, I have a beautiful baby girl, a little pooping machine, a little milk drinking machine. It's interesting. It's been crazy. Yeah, 2.5 days of labor, man. That woman really surprised me.
Yeah, to be fair, because obviously we've been in contact over the Christmas period. When you said that you were in the hospital, I was like, oh, it'll be very soon, and then it wasn't until like 2 days later that you messaged me. I was like, are you kidding? Kim's a trooper. Real
trooper, man. Real trooper. I mean, she's my Wonder Woman, to be sure. Yeah. But yes, that's that was New Year's. So let's get on with games. First of all, this is our very first episode to be featured in audio only. We are on Anchor, for those who are listening us on Anchor, and we're slowly going to be rolling out into other audio outlets and everything. But yeah, bear with us until that happens. So onwards to gaming. What have you been gaming these days?
I have already started off 2018 with style. I've finally finished Fire Emblem Warriors, which I did shortly after New Year.
Yay.
That final level is so much fun. I won't ruin any of it for anyone just in case they haven't got there yet, but that final level was really fun. I started playing Super Lucky's Tale, which I got for Christmas, and I love that game. It's so cute. That's the only review I have of it so far. It's just so cute. I'm playing a game that I can't talk about, so I really shouldn't have said that, because I could have just left it and no one would have been none the wiser.
Make people jelly.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying nothing. And otherwise, I've just been continuing with games from 2017 because there was just so many, and also there are so many upcoming that I need to clear some way for them to arrive. So like Assassin's Creed Origins, Sonic Mania, which I've done with one character now. I want to see how the other characters differ. What else have I been playing? What else have I been playing? Oh, Brawlhalla still, obviously.
Yeah.
Christmas event, been playing loads of ranked. Street Fighter 5. I was back on Blaze Blue as well, because obviously I was in tournaments. I was in tournaments last weekend. But yeah, like it's literally all games from 2017 that I'm just still playing.
Yeah, well, we don't have that many for 2018 yet. The best is yet to come for that.
I don't have time.
There's no time left anymore. I've also been on a game from 2017. Well, mostly these days I've been able to squeeze in a little bit of time playing Xenoblade Chronicles. That game is fantastic, but I'll tell you one thing. Chapter 4 and Chapter 7 can go screw themselves, literally.
Okay, I look forward to getting to those.
I'm not spoiling. I'm just going to say that the map system, the way the navigation system works in the game, just makes both of those chapters very, very frustrating when you're trying to find your way. I had to use guides. I mean, I'm not proud to say this, but I had to use guides to get through certain parts because it was just really, really bothering me a lot.
Okay, I look forward to it.
But overall, the game is fun, and I have to say the stuff and mechanics that you gain later on make combat even more fun. It's really, really cool. I mean, I've really enjoyed the game. The story's really engaging. I'm really looking forward to the end of it because I'm on chapter 8. I've got 2 more, I think, to get through. Right, so let's move on to the blast, and let's start with some good old-fashioned controversies, shall we? Starting with something that was actually not just a very sad incident, a very deeply upsetting incident, okay? There was a swatting incident recently in the US over a wager game of Call of Duty, and I want to emphasize here the wager was for $1.50. $1.50 here, and it ended with the death of a person who had nothing to do with it whatsoever. To explain what swatting is, basically it's when you send the police to somebody else's home because you somehow gained their personal information and their address. So you try to get a SWAT team to actually go to somebody's house. So what happened was that these 2 guys who were playing on the same team in this wager game, they got into a heated argument, and one of them said to the other, you know what, you want to swat me? Here's my address. So he gave him a fake address. And this other person, not only did he not do this, but not only did he attempt to do something, he asked a known swatter, a person who was already a swatter, to do it for him. And this guy who got arrested in the end, he managed to get a SWAT team to this other random person's door. And when the guy opened the door, the police officer in the lead there thought that the guy was reaching for something in his pocket and shot him. So this guy, I don't remember his name, may he rest in peace, died for having nothing to do with anything that was going on with this thing. And yes, the suspect has been arrested and he will probably be convicted, but yeah, this is just tragic news.
There's nothing I can say about this without getting into politics.
Mm-hmm.
They need to stamp this out. They need to stamp this out. They need to. Because Call of Duty has a bad enough reputation as it is. Not wholly undeserved, but it's there, and this isn't going to help. And it doesn't look good on gaming either. Actually, I think that's the most important point I can make. This does not make gamers look very good in terms of the world view, because it makes us look like whining little piss babies that call the police to other people's houses if we're losing. And the fact that somebody has died because of this is just horrendous and makes the whole thing look even worse. I mean, very strong condolences to that man's family that have been likely left behind by this. What is going through people's heads when they do this?
I have no words. I've gotten upset over games and stuff, and I don't want to sound like the guy who says I don't do things like that, but the truth of the matter is that, you know, that's just it. I mean, it doesn't matter how upset you can get over a game like this or whatever game. You know, you can't really, you can't endanger people's lives like that.
No.
Like, it's very disturbing to me that they just pulled up a random address to do this. Like, to me, every single person involved in this incident is totally to blame and should be found and should be prosecuted.
Including the policeman.
A policeman above all else, because, I mean, this whole debacle about policemen just opening fire on civilians just because he was reaching for something, I'm doing air bunnies here, it doesn't hold water anymore. I mean, you're a police officer. You have training. But anyway, this is getting political.
Yeah.
This is
which I knew it would.
It would. There's no other way that it wouldn't.
No, there's no way.
I just want to emphasize that, you know, don't do these things, guys. I mean, why? As you can see, it's very, very likely that somebody could die. Nobody believed it. There's a lot of YouTubers out there have been saying for a long time that this could be, like, this could happen one day. Nobody believed it, but here we are. Mm-hmm. Here we are talking about something that happened. where somebody died, and it's really, really bad. Anyway, yeah.
But hopefully Activision, because it's Activision and someone else share the Treyarch, isn't it? Treyarch and Activision share kind of publishing on Call of Duty. I don't trust Activision to do it. Treyarch, sort this out. Sort this out now. Make it so that this sort of thing can't happen, or is very heavily like campaigned against, because it shouldn't happen. It should not happen.
No, it just shouldn't happen. And I don't know exactly how these wager games work. I don't play Call of Duty. I don't know how wager games happen. I'm guessing it's some kind of third-party website that does it. But you see, like, it doesn't matter what kind of amount of money we're talking about here. People get upset over this. So maybe allowing for these websites to exist may not be actually a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, the chances are it would still find a way of happening, these sort, because to me, this sounds like a money match in a fighting game.
Yeah.
Essentially staking a wager on your success versus somebody else doing the same. And money matches happen regardless, but you don't see with money matches people getting shot. There's clearly, I mean, this will be the last thing I say on this, because otherwise I will get very heavily into politics. There does seem to be a correlation somewhat between this sort of event, swatting, and the mindset of people that play online shooters, because you don't hear about this from other genres. It's just this genre. So there seems to be some sort of correlation between these two. I can't obviously prove it. I can't obviously say that it's a connection, but it does seem that these sort of events are linked to that genre. So there might be something about the mindset that ties into this, but obviously I am no psychiatrist.
Oh, yeah, that's an unfortunate incident that happened. Hopefully the U.S. government will do something about this and the appropriate people get prosecuted. And our hearts go out to the family that has been left behind by this and had to face such a tragic incident so suddenly.
From one thing sadly left behind to something that's sadly not left behind. The year of the loot boxes continues into 2018, doesn't it? Of course it does. So
brownie points for the segue, by the way.
You're very welcome. And also, thank you. I was thinking about that through that whole last thing you were saying. I was just like, how am I going to do this segue? And then it was like, yeah. But the year of the loot box has continued, and we don't need to tell you about last year, because we did tell you about
multiple times.
Multiple times. But EA at it again. It's always EA, isn't it? It's always EA that's pushing the envelope too far and then annoying everyone. So EA it has come about that there are going to be loot boxes in Anthem, the hotly anticipated and, I must admit, beautiful looking BioWare game that was shown off last year, wasn't it? Or was it year before?
Last year.
It was last year. Yeah.
It was E3.
Yeah, E3 2017. So Anthem looked great, and beyond a little bit of kind of scripted narrative, which I that was scripted gameplay. Like, there was no way in hell that wasn't scripted gameplay, and that annoys me, but that's a topic for a completely other time. But aside from the scripted gameplay, it looked good. It looked really good. The end result of I do not care if the loot boxes in Anthem are, which they are proposed to be being, purely cosmetic. They are still gambling mechanics in a game that look great, and now I have zero interest in.
Yeah, this first of all, I have to give the obligatory surprise here. EA and a game they're publishing having more loot boxes. I'm gonna say this. I mean, I think okay. I mean, like on one hand, yes, this loot boxes are gambling, and I think these need to be regulated and need to be part of whatever rating goes into games. On the other hand, there's a camp of people that believe that as long as they're just purely cosmetic stuff, it's okay, because Overwatch does it, and it's okay, apparently.
I disagree so much with that sentiment. It's
Yeah.
not okay. It really isn't. I mean, if you look at the fact that there are games that were due to have loot boxes in them that now no longer have loot boxes in them because they have realised either A, that public really don't want them, or B, they've discovered, this is less likely as well, they've discovered that they are predatory and have gone against using them for moral values, of which I don't place any moral values with most publishers, to be fair. But Fantasy Strike was due to have loot boxes. It was loot box progression, was it not? No,
It was some kind of loot box progression, again, purely cosmetic stuff, according to David Serlin.
But it now doesn't, and that is the Fantasy Strike devs doing the right thing, in my opinion, because it's now, because in the space of reading an article, I went from interested in Fantasy Strike to not interested to interested again in the same article, because I went, oh, Fantasy Strike looks good. Loot boxes. Oh, it doesn't have loot boxes. Like, and that was my line of thinking throughout reading it. So I'm glad it doesn't. But EA, stop. Just stop it. You are becoming, you are, I can't even say it without saying becoming, but you are more of a joke than you were before. And it's only getting worse. There's now the Pink Vader that you said nobody wanted in Battlefront 2. You are becoming a laughingstock. You've gone from being a company that people just jeer at to a company that people cannot help but jeer at.
That definitely makes things worse for them. Yeah,
it really does. I mean, the fact that they came out and said nobody wants a Pink Vader, and that it's not canonical, and now Pink Vader's in Star Wars Battlefront, Gamblefront 2, let's call it by its true name, and the modder who has created said mod actually has on their modding page, warning, this may break canon. It is genius, but they've asked for it all themselves. They have asked for every last bit of the joke being made on them. They deserve every bit of it.
I can't completely fault them for saying what they say. It's basically it's the wording that they've used that's the problem here. I can't completely fault them for saying things like that nobody wants a Pink Vader and all that. Because to be fair, and I'm going to quote a very good friend of mine who said that if you give people the option in a game to make their character look like a pink dildo, they will make their character look like a pink dildo.
What's the issue with that?
See, there is that. I mean, but that's exactly what. There's no issue with it entirely. But imagine if you're about to play the latest Star Wars game and you walk in and everybody looks like a pink dildo, and that kind of, in a sense, maybe in the back of their heads, that is basically saying people will walk into this and they will never want to play it again, and we want people to keep playing our game.
Well, don't put loot boxes in, and people will keep playing your game. You've got to play. You've got to work with us here, EA. Seriously,
that's true. That's true.
You can't say no one will want to play our game if there's a Pink Vader, and then put a mechanic in it which nobody wants to play. Like, make your mind up which field you want to be on.
And it doesn't have to be a pink Vader. It could be a white Vader. It could be a gold Vader. It could be green and pink polka dot Vader. But yeah.
No, they also said that white Vader wouldn't be good either.
Oh, come on.
And that's in it now as well. The same modders put a white Vader in it too.
Yeah. Let's do all the colors of the rainbow. Let's have a rainbow Vader.
It's called character customization. And in an online shooter, you need character customization, because otherwise, where's the individuality? Where is it?
I'm gonna point out something here, though, right? Because, yeah, customization doesn't have to be just about colors, right? It can be armor. And I know that Vader looks very simple in his armor, but where's the harm in making his armor look a little more fancy, a little more exaggerated? I mean, Injustice 2 has done it. For all of the superheroes, you could have a Batman who looks like he's from some kind, he looks like he could be part of the Star Wars universe or some other sci-fi universe, to be sure. I mean, you can do it, and it doesn't matter if it breaks canon. It's a game.
Yeah.
We're making our own Star Wars stories in the game. Let us do it in our own style. That's the point.
Yeah.
But anyway, loot boxes are here to stay, apparently.
Yeah, apparently what was that? So. I said EA will be EA, and there's nothing we can really do about it.
No. So yeah, there was Fantasy Strike. We still got the issues with Anthem. There's expected to have that. Destiny 2 is still trucking along with what they're trucking along, and that's the last time I'm going to mention Destiny 2 on this podcast. Today, for this time at least. Yeah, for this time, it's probably going to be heard on the next ones, but I'm only going to give them the one. That's it. I'm very upset about that game, but that's for another time. Yeah, but let's move on to the news bites, shall we? Nintendo, there's been a rumor that Nintendo is going to hold a Direct on the 11th. And not only that, but on top of this rumor, apparently on Amazon, there are 11 placeholder products titled Game 20-something, Game 20-something. People have been really, really raving about Game 27 specifically. But yeah, 11 placeholder games on Amazon, and then possible Nintendo Direct on the 11th. Something's afoot here, if you catch my drift.
Yeah. I'm very much, when it comes to Nintendo and the Nintendo Directs, I'm very much a, when they announce it, it's happening sort of person. Because if there's one thing that I have learnt never to do, it's think I know what Nintendo are going to do next. They are an incredibly unpredictable company, and I mean the Switch is a testament to that. And yeah, if there is a Direct, I'm interested. I'm really interested, but I won't be crying or anything if it's not true.
Nope, I won't either. And apparently, according to our Nintendo Switch, it's a very usual thing for Nintendo to announce Directs a couple of days before they happen. So we still got until tomorrow or the day after to find out. And then the actual Direct if it does happen. But we are due for a Direct, I believe. So, yeah.
Yeah, they usually do happen early January. So, early to mid-January. So, yeah. I would say the timing's about right for it. So, we'll see.
Fingers crossed, Smash. Smash port. Come on, you can do it. You can do it.
I would love a Smash port.
How awesome would it be if not only did they announce it on the Direct, they also said, available tomorrow.
They've done that so many times, though. So that's really not inconceivable for Nintendo.
No, not at this point. I'm really excited. I mean, this is really, really cool stuff. Hopefully it's going to happen. Right.
Yeah, I would love Smash on. I would absolutely love Smash on Switch. And also, I was playing Smash on Saturday, but another game I was also playing was Street Fighter V.
Mm-hmm.
And we've received unfortunate news from Capcom that Street Fighter Arcade Edition has been delayed in EU and Australia until the 19th instead of the 16th, which is where it launches in America. The weird thing about that is the digital upgrade, if you have Street Fighter V, is still coming through at the same time as normal, which is weird. So that's an interesting thing, and also obviously deeply upsetting for a lot of people that were really looking forward to Arcade Edition, because it now means that obviously the guys that already have Street Fighter V and will be able to upgrade on time, they're already going to have an advantage over new players, but this is going to increase that gulf even further because they're going to have 3 days practice on the other guys. but not as much practice as one person who... There's a Reddit user who bought a copy of Street Fighter V, as in vanilla, supposedly vanilla, Street Fighter V in Walmart, got it home and found out that it was actually a copy of Arcade Edition. Yeah. And the thing is, I looked into this because I was like, nah, that can't be real. That must be like faked. And he's actually posted footage of him playing it.
He's shown off features from like there's some cool training mode features coming and stuff. Won't totally discuss this right now, but yeah, there's some cool stuff coming, and he's been on the forefront of it all.
Which is, I mean, just to be just a random Reddit user and just getting that lucky. But that does actually answer an interesting question that I don't think anyone considered asking of Capcom, and that's that clearly Street Fighter V discs are going to start shipping with some of the data of Arcade Edition already on it to kind of ease up the download when it comes to the 16th. That does kind of make sense. If it's already got some of it on the disc, then it just means it's less of a download, which is good, really, I think.
Yeah.
It's Capcom being very forward thinking, and I like that. Especially when it comes to Street Fighter, that Street Fighter V has been notoriously backward thinking, kind of recovering from its mistakes as it goes along, rather than thinking, okay, this could come up in the future, let's resolve that now. But yeah, I'm so excited about Arcade Edition. I genuinely am.
I'm genuinely very excited. Although I have to say I'm still not completely happy with the UI. It still looks a little too plain to me, but okay. I'll live with the fact that they've made some improvements. And also apparently it seems like the improvements include some training mode stuff, like we said, like a frame advantage system, so you know, like when you're plus frames or when you're minus, but that's in training mode, of course. What else? The loading times apparently are faster. Mm-hmm. The game loads a lot faster than vanilla Street Fighter V. Great stuff like Team Battle, which looks really amazing. That's gonna make for crazy good events, I have to say.
I can't wait to get on the Team Battle one, and I feel sorry for the team I'm on.
It's gonna be fun. We'll tag team together.
Okay.
Yeah. But I have to say, the one thing I'm picturing right now is Ono dressed like Willy Wonka, going, we should include a golden ticket in one of our vanilla Street Fighter V.
So they all get to go to Capcom, and just one of them gets to walk away owning Capcom.
Yeah, exactly. That is, somebody Photoshop that shit right now. Right fucking now.
Well, it doesn't help that it's got a gold UI now as well, so it all ties in so nicely.
There you go. It's all part of the master plan. Yeah, that's how they're going to sell more Street Fighter V copies.
And that's how they're going to find the new owner of Capcom. Like, it's all a big plan.
No golden ticket for Daigo, who should be the owner, but yeah.
Oh, Daigo would be a great owner of Street Fighter as a brand, I think.
Would be.
Mm.
Well, speaking of Street Fighter and all that, the peripheral company that we thought went out with a sputter, Mad Catz, apparently is coming back.
I like this news.
I love it. I love it. My stick is a Mad Catz. It's a TE2. I was really saddened to hear that they were going bankrupt. They had made apparently some really bad choices when it came to making peripherals for the latest Rock Band, because they thought, yeah, it's back, baby, let's capitalize on this. But yeah, didn't work out. So yeah, they went bankrupt. But they're coming back. I think they tweeted what looks to be their new office space. I think, is that what that photo was?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're apparently coming back, and that's great news because Mad Catz is one of the big players when it comes to fighting game peripherals. They made some really good fighting game pads as well as fight sticks. The tees, the tournament editions, have been one of the top sticks to buy if you're in fighting games and you want a stick. So yeah, that I'm really happy with my TE2, and that just doubles my happiness now to know that Mad Catz is definitely returning. Hopefully with some better management, some better decision making here on out.
Yeah, I hope for that too. I mean, my fight pad is a Mad Catz pad, so and I use that for all of the games. I use that for Street Fighter, I use it for BlazBlue, I use it for Unist, I use it for everything. So because it's the only kind of fight pad that has a stick. Because even the Fight Commander is D-pad, and that the Hori Fighting Commander, that's a D-pad, and I use a stick when I do kind of motion inputs, so I can't use a D-pad. I'm not that much of a classic 2D gamer, so I have to use a stick. So the fact the Mad Catz pad has a stick, I absolutely love it.
Great.
And I'm glad they're coming back, because that means I can get a new fight pad.
Hopefully they'll be back with some new stuff. Particularly, maybe I'm hoping they'll have at least new products coming out by the time BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle comes out. Maybe some kind of special edition stick or something. That would be nice.
Oh, I would love a Mad Catz Cross Tag Battle fight pad.
Ooh,
I would buy that.
That would be nice, yeah.
Moving from a resurrection to a death, though, the Kinect is dead, people. Rest in peace, the Microsoft Kinect. Yeah, Microsoft have officially killed it off now, because they did have the Kinect that came with the Xbox One, which was the enhanced Kinect. Well, was an enhanced Kinect versus the Xbox 360 version. Then they stopped it because they realised it's a stupid idea, and they instead, for people that wanted to connect, later versions of the Xbox console, like the S and the X, didn't have a means of connecting a Kinect. So, wow, this is really weird to say out loud. So they released a kind of adapter so that you could actually use your Kinect with the newer Xbox One consoles, and now they've discontinued that. So that is, to all intents and purposes, Microsoft going, no, this is good, put it to rest now, done, Kinect done.
This is fine.
Yeah. So they're not, if they are not producing the adapter for the Kinect anymore to plug it into the newer consoles, that is beyond any shadow of doubt showing that they are not continuing with that peripheral. Which, this might be quite harsh, but I'm very good riddance with. I don't think the Kinect was a particularly great piece of kit anyway, and the games that were released for it were mediocre at best. So I don't think it's too much of a loss, but for lots of people, that is a massive loss. So like, my heart goes out to the people that are now losing a means of videoing themselves while streaming, a means of doing video chat with their friends. Like, there's a lot of things that people are losing now that they lose their Kinect. So I feel genuinely gutted for them, but I don't think it was a fantastic piece of kit, so I don't think it's not going to be widely missed.
No, I mean, I guess they could at least downgrade it into just a camera, like the PlayStation 4 camera is, which actually is not just the camera anymore. It's also the VR motion tracker, and it's working pretty well for that as well. But I mean, they could do something with it. I mean, it's odd that they're just absolutely killing it off, and I don't believe they're not going to do something. They're probably going to introduce some kind of camera that just works. It's just weird that we haven't heard of it yet, because people stream from their consoles these days, and they want a camera to go with it. But yeah. It is what it is. The Kinect really didn't do that much for the industry. It did introduce some ways for you to turn your console on and navigate it with your voice, but maybe even some facial recognition, I think, to unlock it. Add some stuff like that.
I think so. I think the Kinect, it registered it was you sitting there. Because my friend had Kinect, so I'm pretty sure it registered you sitting there if it was you. So that's interesting.
It's interesting, but how applicable? I mean, at the end of the day, who's going to use it, right? Why? Yeah. Anyway, moving on. It seems like the Battle Royale craze has actually really taken off. and this actually confirms a lot of, predictions that some people have made. Paladins is jumping on the bandwagon as well, with Paladins Battlegrounds being announced, coming sometime in 2018. It's going to be a Battle Royale style mode, and it's what they're dubbing the first hero shooter Battle Royale. So, yeah. I have no idea how the hell this is going to work out. I have no idea.
Neither do I. I didn't think that the game that Paladins is would have suited having that mode.
It's like taking Overwatch and turning it into a Battle Royale.
Which, in all fairness, from what I've heard about Overwatch, it is essentially a Battle Royale because no one's on real teams. So
that was a joke.
Yeah, I must admit I'm not a fan of the Battle Royale craze anyway. So yeah, the sooner that dies off, the better for me. But I'd be interested to see how it plays. I'll definitely be interested to see how it plays. I'm more interested in a Paladins Battle Royale than I am in PUBG or Fortnite. So,
well, we'll have to see. Hi-Res Studios is the kind of studio that basically takes something that has a bandwagon and they jump on it hardcore. And right now they're under fire for including a bunch of like Lootboxes style card thingamadoodles for Paladins already. But we're gonna have to see. I mean, I'm not big on the battle royale kind of thing either, and I'm quite curious now that they've named it Paladins Battlegrounds how Bluehole is gonna respond, since Bluehole has been a little bit arrogant when it comes to the battle royale mode and ownership of it. I'm pretty sure they might even be arrogant enough to believe that the word battlegrounds should be something they need to sue people for.
Have you, I heard about this today at time of recording. Have you heard the latest thing to come out of Bluehole that I found thoroughly entertaining and couldn't help but being incredibly sarcastic on the internet about? That the creator of PUBG has basically said that he would be interested in making a film of it. To which my first response was, did he not see Battle Royale? You know, that really good movie that the whole premise of his game is based upon? I can't quite grasp the audacity and the arrogance of the creator of PUBG that he is the first one to think of this concept. When he really isn't. Yeah.
I think the whole idea for battle royale style games, well, first of all, it started from that movie, but also I think the most, like, in my memory, the first game to have this was H1Z1. I think they had a PvP mode that was basically a battle royale style, and that's where everything started from, right? And maybe there's something before that. Somebody maybe in the comment section could clarify for me. But by no means is PlayerUnknown right now the very first to have come up with this concept.
No, but he seems to think he is, and also he's not even finished the damn game yet. I tell you what, Fortnite, for all of its ripping off PUBG thing, Fortnite looks a damn sight closer to being finished than PUBG does.
Agreed. Yeah.
And also the amount of patches they've had to put out for PUBG on Xbox. Like, sort yourselves out. If you honestly think you're this big I am, please, by all means, show us. But at the moment, all you're doing is putting out an unfinished game on Xbox One that was unfinished on Steam and charging money for it.
Exactly.
You're not showing that you're good particularly at anything. But have to literally kind of own up to this. A lot of people love PUBG. So if you love it, if you enjoy playing it, if it's your sort of game, fair enough. Can't fault you for that. Carry on enjoying it. However, do not think for a second that this game is an original concept in any form.
And, yeah. And I'll have to also add to this. Please understand that very few things in this world right now are an original concept, okay? Because under your ideas, then Wizards of the Coast and the actual creator of Magic the Gathering should turn around and go to Blizzard and ask for a boatload of money. Because that is basically what Hearthstone is, a very simplified version of Magic the Gathering. End of story. Okay? So, yeah. That's what art is, buddy. It's art is stealing. And it's been a very, very big thing in the art world to say you have to steal like an artist. And that's how you grow, and that's how you actually make real innovation, by building up on ideas. I mean, in that sort of case, and I've said this before, maybe Blizzard should be taken down completely, because Blizzard is the company out there that takes a concept that exists already, puts a little bit of Blizzard magic into it, and voila, they sell millions and millions of copies. And they got millions and millions of fans.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons, mix in a little bit of Terry Pratchett and Tolkien, boom, Warcraft.
There you go. There you go. Boom, you heard it here first. And that's how it is.
We could easily do maths of gaming. Easily.
Oh, absolutely. We should do an episode on that for sure.
However, taking it back down, making it a little bit more sensible again. A company that's normally not that good at maths, and especially not good at discounts. Nintendo. They've got a New Year's sale on Switch and 3DS. Oh, and Wii U, but everyone's forgotten the Wii U now. But the thing that's most interesting about that is there's a couple of actually first-party titles in the sale, which they normally don't do. So Arms and 1-2 Switch.
Ooh.
Of which Arms is actually £10 off on eShop, which is a decent amount, actually.
It's a pretty good discount.
I mean, it's only 20%, but like 20% for Nintendo on a first-party game is pretty damn good. As well as that, there's a lot of third-party titles like LA Noir's in it, SteamWorld Dig's in it, which is fantastic. On the 3DS, I'll just quickly scroll down. It's almost all first-party, so you've got like Samus Returns, Fire Emblem Echoes, Smash Bros. 3DS, Mario Kart 7, Animal Crossing, Mario Maker 3DS. So like there's some really decent titles in this sale. It's unusual for Nintendo to do such a good sale, to be fair. And also, as another thing, before I ask your thoughts on this, very strangely, you know how the Nintendo Direct is rumoured to be on the 11th?
Yeah.
This sale ends on the 11th.
Ooh.
So there's a very weird coincidental timing thing going on there. So we'll see. I mean, I don't generally believe in coincidences, but I've also learned to never try and predict Nintendo. So, but what do you think of the sale of the reductions of the games?
What is this sorcery, first of all? First-party titles being discounted? Oh my god, is this Nintendo finally embracing the way that things work in the industry now? I'm very pleased. Although I do have to say, guys, 1-2 Switch, even at its discount, still too expensive. Try again next time. But I'm very pleasantly surprised by all of this, and I do feel that this is Nintendo actually making yet another statement that, hey, we're putting on the big boy pants now. We're going to play nice like everybody else, and we're going to take things by storm, because that's how it should have been from the beginning.
It's about time. They needed to put their big boy pants on for at least the last 10 years. Yes.
And see, it's working for them. It's really working for them. They've been putting on their big boy pants almost all year in 2017 with good marketing, a solid brand new device getting praised left and right, awesome titles coming out, giving us what we want, making crazy good announcements for 2018, and now a sale which includes some first-party titles. I would have hoped they would include a couple of more, maybe Splatoon 2, maybe something else in there, but that's fine. I mean, we're at a good start with this. Again, yeah, to clarify, my thoughts all culminate to this kind of thing, that this is all a really good start. And hopefully the momentum can just keep on building up.
Yep, and it's good they're reducing ARMS now, because ARMS is now complete, according to Nintendo.
Yes.
So it's a good time to discount it, because it's now at its final iteration. And not to mention, it's a game that, I mean, I haven't played it a great deal because the online sucks. But that's Nintendo, that's not the game. But I will be very glad to see more people play this game, because ARMS is a very good game. It's a very interesting concept, executed in a really great way. So more people playing it, yes, please. Good call, Nintendo. I mean, I'm with you. I would have preferred some more games be added to it. Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, maybe. Maybe a couple more games reduced. But yeah, it's Nintendo, as you say, moving forwards and actually trying to step into the ring with everybody else.
Which is great. I mean, everything's shaping up pretty nicely. The eShop has gotten better. Now it's got the offers section. It's got the charts section. It's got so much going for it. It's going to improve. It's not the best, but I like its simplicity. And honestly, to be fair, I prefer this eShop to PSN's, because oh my god, that search function in the PlayStation 4 console on the PlayStation Store. Seriously, Sony, get your act together.
See, whenever I'm on PSN buying things, I always buy them on my computer.
Yeah.
And then just click on the download queue.
And it happens, yeah.
Because I never do it on the console, because it is just an absolute mess to try and navigate.
Hopefully we'll get an announcement for that as well down the line. Right. So yeah, that's going to be the news bites from last week. Let's move on to our discussion. There's nothing really big that we want to talk about that is the caliber of loot boxes or whatnot. So we decided to talk about what we're looking forward to and what we're expecting for 2018. So I'm going to hand it off to Rue first. What are you expecting and hoping for?
2018. Nintendo are just going to keep on being Nintendo. That's great. Just keep on going, guys. We've got Bayonetta 1, 2, and 3. We've got Metroid Prime 4, supposedly. Like Lost Spheres coming to it. Octopath Traveler's coming to the Switch as well. I'm expecting like great things from Nintendo to continue into this year. They were easily the kings of last year, and I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be the kings of this year as well. I reckon this will be the year that the wider fighting game community starts taking Arc Sys more seriously. And I reckon that's going to happen very soon. In fact, a few weeks' time. Dragon Ball FighterZ is, in my opinion, if it shapes up to be as good as it looks and as good as it has been every time I've played it, there is no reason why people won't then start looking at Arc Sys and going, yeah, they know what they're doing. Us guys who play anime fighters, play like Guilty Gear, Xrd, and play BlazBlue, we know they know what they're doing, but the wider community doesn't at the moment. And to them, Arc Sys is a bit of a unknown quantity. They know what games they do, they just don't know how well constructed they are. And Dragon Ball FighterZ looks to be the turning point for them on that. And then that, beyond any shadow of doubt, if Dragon Ball FighterZ does as well as I think it's going to do, that is only going to mean good things for cross-tag battle. Really.
And then we can, get a lot more people on this Arc Sys bandwagon. I mean, they seem very confident because they're opening that studio in the US. So that means that they're definitely very confident in what they're doing. That means they're growing. That means more money's coming in, and that's great. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to what they're gonna do in the future for sure. And they deserve it. I mean, they deserve it. They've brought out more quality fighting game titles than others that I could mention, like Street Fighter V.
Well, just look at it this way. Last year, Arc Sys released 2 major updates for their 2 biggest franchises. No, 1 per franchise, that is. So Guilty Gear, Xrd, Revelator 2, that completely overhauled the characters and the character balance, adding new moves, subtracting moves, changing the balance entirely, changing the UI entirely. and adding 2 characters. And then they released BlazBlue Central Fiction 2.0 that readdressed the balancing of all of the characters, bringing the tiers of all of the characters of the roster, and that is not a small roster, as you know, bringing the tiers so much closer together than they ever have been, so that the gulf between the top tier and the bottom tier characters are nowhere near as large as they were, and adding the legacy character that everyone's wanted since bloody Calamity Trigger. So 2 massive updates. And that's nothing compared to this year. We've got Dragon Ball FighterZ and Cross Tag Battle coming this year. And there's no way that I think they're going to rest on their laurels with Guilty Gear either. I mean, that probably won't be 2018, but I'm expecting to hear something bubbling about Guilty Gear during this year. Yeah, so Arxis. People are going to know who Arxis are by the end of the year. And the other fighting game prediction I would like to make at this point is that Arcade Edition will be the turning point for Capcom. With Street Fighter. It needs it. It's popular. People love it. People love watching it. But what it needs that player base. And Arcade Edition, I think, will significantly bolster the player base up. And also, it's giving a lot of the players that like Street Fighter but do not want to play it in any sort of competitive fashion, it's given them that option now, which it needed from the beginning. Because if I wasn't a competitive player, because I'm not a competitive player in terms I don't have a competitive edge to me. However, I do play competitively. If I wasn't that, I would not have picked up Street Fighter until this year for Arcade Edition. Because I would not have cared about any of the modes that were in it. I would have wanted an arcade mode, like challenges I could do, stuff like that. And Arcade Edition's bringing that. And that's going to mean a lot of the people that didn't buy it before, or perhaps the people that bought it before went, nah, no thanks, doesn't have what I need, will then come back. And I really want it to be the turnaround point for Capcom. Because they have listened. And in a way, they do deserve it.
I can agree with that. I think that if AE is going to do anything right now, it's probably going to be a turning point. Hopefully, it's not just going to be in all of the fancy stuff that they're adding, because it's great that they're adding all of this stuff. But I really hope that the online gets shaped up a little bit. Although it's pretty decent online, there still are hiccups, which I'm pretty sure could be ironed out to some degree. There are still people reporting huge problems, and hopefully that can be sorted out. Rage quitting can also be dealt with a little more appropriately. And another thing is, like, add like some more rewards to the fight money stuff. I mean, for crying out loud, look at Tekken. They're just basically, here's a bunch of stuff, customizations for everything. So why not do the same thing, right? So yeah, hopefully if that all is in the pipeline, A is the beginning for all of this. So, and that will definitely mean a very big turning point for them.
One last thing, then I'll pass over for you. And I'm going to put this as my wild card. My kind of wildest dream thing I would love for this year. The return of Dino Crisis. That's my wild card for the year. There's a lot of games I would love to see the return of. But a Dino Crisis remake, like Resident Evil remake, would be so good. And I'm going to place, I mean, as a kind of honourable mention for my wild card, Rival Schools, but Dino Crisis is the thing I would really, really love to come back.
Wow.
And I know that's really out there. I mean, who really loved Dino Crisis? It didn't do fantastically well.
Yeah, well, I never played it. I mean, I still don't understand why people love the game so much. So I guess, yeah, I'm gonna be one of those people that might hope for that to happen as well, because I want to play it. That would be great to give this game that everybody seems to love a try. Why not?
It's Resident Evil, but with raptors instead of zombies. What more could you want?
I mean, that's fair. Yeah, yeah, that's a fair thing to say. Yeah, that was something that what a Jurassic Park game should actually be like, actually. Yeah.
Well, they are doing that Jurassic Park game, but I've not paid any attention to it.
Yeah. Right, so I'm going to go on with my
Yes.
stuff. I'm going to agree with everything that you said about Nintendo. And on top of that, I'd like to add, hopefully Nintendo is also going to continue improving on the Switch as a device itself. And by that, I mean the software, the operating system. There was recently a fake little video that contained new UI elements, including folder system and having apps like Crunchyroll and YouTube and Twitch on it. That turned out to be fake, but oh my god, how nice did it look? Nice and clean and minimalist, just like how the Switch actually is right now. Hopefully, this is something that's in the pipeline along with Virtual Console. Please, Nintendo, this year, we need to hear it. Now. Come on. You've got, that's money in the bag, baby. Money in the bank, right over there. Make it happen. So yeah, on top of all of the wishes for games like Smash and all of that, yeah, hopefully those are the big things for me with Nintendo, along with building on that online infrastructure, since they want us to start ponying up for it.
Yeah.
That's hope and expectations right over there. I'm expecting generally PlayStation to continue dominating as it has. Right now they have the biggest network of players out there, so that's really great. They should continue with that momentum. What I'm hoping is that this is the year we finally hear from them to say, hey, you know, when we said about cross-platform that we didn't really like it and all that, we're reversing that, and we kind of want to do that as well, which will mean that we can finally all say, I bought an Xbox, my buddy bought a PlayStation, but that's not the end of the world because we can play together still. So instead of your console locking you into that, you know, ecosystem, your console is like your identity in the gaming world. And you just need it as a gateway into any game that you want to play, save for maybe exclusives. So yeah, that's my hope for this year. I hope Sony does not. I know that they will eventually have to cave and do this. I just hope they do it sooner rather than later, because I've always felt that this whole console thing is just a fabricated thing so that, you know, companies can sell more of their devices. But I think it's kind of ridiculous at this point. Let us all be able to play with each other. Fortnite was able to prove that it's just the flip of a switch. They were able to get people on Xbox and PlayStation to play together. Why not make that happen? So Microsoft's game, Nintendo's game. Come on, guys. The ball's in your court. Make it happen. So yeah, that's my hope. I hope that we're talking about a more basically unified gaming world at this point. And yeah, I'm looking forward to some crazy announcements. Ghost of Tsushima, I want to hear more about that game.
Ooh, yeah, forgot about that game. That was PlayStation Experience, wasn't it? No, yep. Paris Games Week.
Paris Games Week, yeah, exactly. Along with all of the other stuff that they showed. Let's hope Last of Us 2 meets its expectations, because a lot of people are really, really looking forward to that game. Dad of War, that I'm definitely looking forward to playing as well. Crazy stuff, crazy game. What else? And yeah.
Ooh, Medieval Remastered.
Medieval Remastered, yeah. Hopefully we could hear more remasters like this. That would be nice. Yeah, some Spyro.
Oh, yes, but if they did a Spyro trilogy remaster, I would be so happy. Like they did with Crash, I'd be so happy.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, I could just picture myself, because I have a daughter now, and I think Spyro is like one of those perfect little games to play with, you know, a little kid, right?
Yeah, cute little purple dragon, perfect.
Yeah, for cute little purple dragon, yeah, for a little girl, yeah, that would be nice to just sit and play a game like that with her. Yeah, more or less, yeah, and I'd like to see, finally, this is my wild card, some kind of something, a leap forward for VR. Something to actually maybe push me to get a VR headset. Because I'm in love with VR. I've been in love with VR since the day when I was a kid and I heard of the concept of VR. I've always been into this idea, but it's never actually come to the point where I can justify it.
Well, not Nintendo. Sony have said that they're going to really push support for VR in 2018, and
they're going to double the titles that they have right now.
And that's great, because I think everyone kind of wrote off VR as a kind of fad that PlayStation were just going to drop after a while, like Move and all of that stuff. But they've kept at it, and that means the more time and money and research they put into it, and the more kind of games they release, and then they can gauge obviously critical reception and consumer reception, the better the games will become on it. So
yeah, I agree.
It's only going to be a good thing.
Yeah, totally agree. And so hopefully that's going to be a thing, and hopefully we hear more from this mixed reality thing from Microsoft, because come on, guys, you now finally have the most powerful console on the market. Can we please see you do something with that besides 4K, which I'm still not impressed by yet.
No,
so
I'm not impressed by 4K. It takes a really beautiful game for me to go, oh, that looks nice, but then I just think it looked nice anyway. Yeah. Because I saw Horizon on 4K on a PS Pro, and I was like, oh, that's beautiful, but the game is beautiful anyway.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm not sold on 4K, and I won't be sold on 4K for a long time.
See, that's the thing. I mean, I feel like when it comes to, like, I don't want to make this a discussion on the resolutions, but it's just, you know, I feel like resolution at some point reaches a critical mass. And it's like, how far can you possibly go with resolution at this point? So maybe, I don't know, maybe 4K at some point will be the standard that we could all afford. But after that, nothing. So just gonna sputter out, right? All right, so you got anything else to add?
No, I think we've covered everything. Quite literally, the only other thing, actually, I should add this, that I would like to see in 2018 is I'd like to see Unist do well. I mean, I don't have a massive amount of faith. It is a very niche game, but I'd like to see it do well.
It's a pretty easy game to get into. I mean, I think Arxis should do their best to try and push that, maybe with a new version later down the line or something.
Well, this is the new version.
It's a newest, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same game as Unil, but just updated with new characters and a couple of new mechanics. Even the aesthetic and everything exactly, and the UI, all exactly the same. It's just added characters and a couple of new moves. And a couple of new modes, actually. Let's not forget the modes in Unist are very, very good. But yeah, I'd like to see that game do well. For one, for the selfish reason that I'd have people to play with. And for two, because niche games like that should do well, in my opinion. They should be allowed to have their moment in the sun.
They should. I totally agree with that. And I'm pretty sure with BlazBlue Cross-Tag Battle coming out, there might be some kind of, you know, increase in the player base. We'll have to see. We will definitely have to see. Right, so that's going to do it for our big talk over here. 2018 is looking pretty bright. Hopefully this whole loot box debacle starts to die out and we start seeing something more positive come out of it. Yeah. So that you can find this podcast as you're probably, if you're on Anchor right now, you're hearing us right now, so you can find it on Anchor by following AkibanaZero. And we're slowly going to start rolling out on iTunes and other podcasting outlets. Bear with us as this happens. And yeah, as for me, you can follow me on Twitter at AkibanaZero. If you're on YouTube, you can also see it right under my video, little face cam over here. You can also find me on YouTube as AkibanaZero as well. Rue, share your social stuff.
Yeah, you can find pretty much everything I do on ruethegamer.com. If you want to interact with me, and feel free to, I always love a good chat. You can find me at ruethegamer on Twitter, all small case. And finally, if you do fancy a little bit of a sweary Brit getting angry at games, if you go to ruethegamer.com, there is a link to my YouTube channel and my Twitch channel as well, of which you can watch me get very, very angry at games.
Awesome. And it's really cool and really fun to watch him get angry at games. I am a testament to that. I watch his stream quite regularly. And that's your Gaming Blast for the week. We hope you all have a great week of gaming, and we'll catch you next time.
See you soon.